If you could take a wild guess now, how many different Phonak Lumity hearing aids do you think there are to choose from? What do you reckon? 5, 10, 15? Hit pause for 2 seconds now and write your guess in the comments. Drum roll, please. 335. Yes, you heard me correctly. There are a total of 335 different Phonak Lumity hearing aids to choose from. But fear not, whether you're just starting to explore the option of hearing aids and want to be armed with information before going to an audiology appointment, or perhaps you've already had your hearing tested and have been recommended Phonak Lumity hearing aids, or maybe you've already had them fitted and you're making sure that they're the right ones for you. By the end of this video, you should have a great understanding of which Phonak Lumity hearing aid is right for you, some of which I highly recommend to my patients, and others not so much. Now, there's the danger with this video that it could be incredibly complicated, but I'm going to break it down into bite-sized chunks to make it as simple as possible, starting with the 5 different styles of Phonak Lumity hearing aids. Since I can remember, Phonak have used the same names for their different styles of hearing aids, with the Slim being their receiver in canal slimline hearing aid, the CROS their receiver in canal hearing aid designed to manage single-sided deafness, the Audéo being their standard receiver in canal model, the Naida their power behind the ear hearing aid, and then finally the Sky being Phonak's behind the ear pediatric hearing aids, of which both the Naida and Sky are coupled to your ear either using a slim tube or standard ear mold and tubing. Of course, it doesn't just stop there though. That's not 335 different types of hearing aids. Within each of these styles, there can be various models too. So, for example, whilst there's only one version of both the Slim and CROS, there are 3 different Audéo Lumities, ranging from the Audéo Lumity R, the Audéo Lumity RT, and the Audéo Lumity RL, which I'll go into more detail on what that means shortly. And then within the Naida style, we have the Naida Lumity PR and the Naida Lumity UP. And then finally, the Sky Lumity also has 2 different models, which are also named the PR and UP. So the next big question is, what on earth do all of these letters mean after these different hearing aid models? It's all around rechargeability, CROS systems, Telecoil, and waterproof ratings. So let's break this down a little bit further. Most of the hearing aids that I'm discussing today are rechargeable, which means that for a 3-hour charge when you go to bed, you'll get a full day of use the following day. In my opinion, from a rechargeability point of view, one of these hearing aids stands out head and shoulders above the rest, which is the Lumity Life. Now, in order to maintain the highest possible waterproof rating out of all of the hearing aids discussed today, which is something that I'll come on to later, Phonak have removed its titanium charging contacts and instead installed an inductive charging system. This requires a completely different charger, which happens to A, be easier to remove the hearing aids from, and B, also contains a standalone battery, storing up to 3 full days of charge within the charger itself. So your hearing aids can be charged on the go without you always needing to be plugged into the mains. This is great for if you are somebody that likes to go camping for the weekend, or perhaps traveling when you may not have access to a power source. You can keep the hearing aids stored in the case and they'll be constantly charging. Both the Naida and Sky UP, however, are the only models which use a disposable 675 battery, and this will need changing roughly once every 1 to 2 weeks. The Phonak CROS system is specifically designed for somebody with an unaidable hearing loss in one ear, i.e. no hearing at all, and either normal hearing or a hearing loss that requires a hearing aid in the other. This receiver in canal style device is essentially a transmitter that detects any sound that arrives to your poorer hearing side and then wirelessly transmits the sound that reaches it to your better hearing ear, giving you access to the world of sound around you in 360 degrees. And I find in clinic that this kind of technology can make a huge amount of difference when it comes to managing single-sided deafness. For example, if you're a passenger in a car with your unaidable ear towards the driver, a CROS system would transmit their voice to a hearing aid in your better hearing ear, allowing you to hear them. Now, not all of today's hearing aids will actually work with the CROS system. So if you're looking at wearing hearing aids to manage single-sided deafness, then you need to choose either the Audéo R or RT receiver in canal hearing aids or the Naida or Sky PR behind the ear hearing aids. If you're not completely familiar with the Telecoil, you may, however, have seen this sign at various public venues, such as the likes of a lecture theatre, church, or a theatre. This shows that the venue has a built-in loop system to work with a T-coil built into various types of hearing aids. When configured, this setup allows you to wirelessly connect your hearing aids with the click of a button to a microphone set at a distance. And you should be able to hear the person speaking into that microphone just as if you were stood next to them. And it will completely transform your ability to hear speech at a distance. I won't go into too much detail today, but if you want more detail on the Telecoil, then check out this video, which covers the advantage of having a Telecoil built into your hearing aids. And it even includes sound files and gives you a real flavor of the benefit that you can expect when using a loop system. Now, of all of the Lumity hearing aids discussed today, the Audéo RT, Naida UP, and Sky UP all have a built-in Telecoil, which means that Phonak have provided a wide range of styles to choose from, so as long as you can forgo the waterproof version, then I personally think that having the Telecoil built in is an invaluable option. While I'm on the subject of how waterproof and how robust the Lumity family of hearing aids are, every model that I'm covering today has a minimum standard of an IP68 rating. This means that they can technically be submerged in 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes and they should still function afterwards. For those of you out there familiar with your ratings, no, me neither, the IP68 rating isn't just reserved for hearing aids. You'll actually find it built into a lot of the technology that you use on a daily basis, such as the phone that you're probably watching me on right now. Unlike other manufacturers, the IP68 rating is the minimum standard that Phonak have set for their hearing aids. This means that they've set the bar even higher than that. So if you're someone who spends a lot of time in or near water, or perhaps you sweat a lot when you're doing exercise, or maybe you're just concerned about the reliability of hearing aids, then there's one hearing aid from today's list which has been tested to its limits. The letters in the Audéo Lumity RL stands for Rechargeable and Life, which Phonak boast as being their life-proof hearing aid, and it's their most robust hearing aid to date. With this model, they've added additional microphone protection, they've sealed the seams with silicone, coated the components with a paraline coating, which I'm actually told is the same protection system that NASA use on their spacecraft, and as I mentioned earlier, there's a different charging system too. And then, with all of that done, they have brutally tested this technology in the lab to ensure that it does what they promise. This robustness testing includes a simulated sweat test representing 2 workouts a week for a 5-year period, a seawater test, a saltwater test, a chlorinated water test simulating 2 swims per week over a 5-year period, and finally freshwater testing, which is performed in a pressurized container, testing down to a depth of 50 centimeters, 520 times. I mean, they've really put these hearing aids through their paces. So if you're somebody that's had issues with either moisture or reliability in the past, then the Audéo Lumity Life may well be the right hearing aid for you from today's list. But remember, this does come at a cost, and you'll have to sacrifice both the Telecoil and CROS compatibility. I've outlined these 4 specific features to start off with, as some of the hearing aid styles have them and others don't. So from your opinion, it's worth understanding the details on those from the offset. Another thing that you're very much spoiled for choice with are the different colors of the hearing aids, which again does vary depending on the style that you're choosing. The Slim is available in these 4 different colors. All of the Audeos, so the R, RT and L, including the CROS, are now available in 11 different colors, including some new, more vibrant color options too. The Naida PR and UP are available in 8 different colors. And then finally, whether you're a child or not, you may well be interested in these incredible colors for the Sky family. I know which ones I would choose. Each style of hearing aid also has its very own fitting range, which is the degree of hearing loss that it's capable of dealing with. So let's take a good look at the individual fitting ranges for each of these hearing aids. Starting with the receiver in canal styles, so that's the Slim, Audéo R, RT and RL. These fitting ranges can be changed by switching the power of the receiver. With the Lumity Slim, it's possible to attach a standard, moderate, power and ActiveVent receiver. So if you've had your hearing tested and it fit within the grey shaded area on these audiograms, then they're technically suitable for your hearing loss. If, however, you needed something a little bit more powerful and wanted to stick with the discretion of a receiver in canal hearing aid, then the Audéo Lumity R, RT and Life will also give you access to an ultra power receiver, which requires an impression to be taken of your ear, which would then house Phonak's most powerful receiver in canal hearing aids. Moving on to both the NAIDA PR and UP plus the Sky PR and UP, here are the fitting ranges demonstrating the power level of each of these behind-the-ear hearing aids. So I very briefly mentioned ActiveVent when running through the suitability of the different hearing aids, which is a feature unique to Phonak's receiver and canal styles of hearing aids, so it's compatible with both Slim, Audéo R, RT, and then the Life models. Now wait until you hear about this because I assure you it will blow your mind. ActiveVent is a specific type of receiver with a built-in moving piston that changes its position depending on your listening environment. And it can either divert more or less sound naturally down your ear canal, or on the contrary, via the hearing aids. This in turn will change a few different things, such as how well you hear in noise, how your own voice sounds, how clearly you hear, and also how music sounds when it's being streamed from your phone. If you're wondering if this matters, oh yes, it matters a lot. There are both positives and negatives to having your ear canals either open or closed. And depending on your hearing loss, sometimes it's beneficial to have a hearing aid that can do both on different occasions, which until ActiveVent was released, wasn't actually possible. For example, in a quiet environment, you may well want the vent to be open, allowing natural sound in and out and giving you a nice, natural feeling connecting you with your environment. Yet when in noise, it's better to have your ears completely closed so that all of the sound that you hear is via your hearing aids, having been cleaned of background noise. And the same thing goes for music and streaming. So when you're streaming from your phone, the ActiveVent would close, both blocking sound in and also blocking sound out, which would enhance music further still, giving you a greater fullness, richness, and depth with any sound being streamed from your phone. Now I've mentioned streaming, I may as well continue on the subject of Bluetooth, as all of the Phonak Lumity hearing aids have classic Bluetooth built in, no matter what the style. And they can be paired with your phone and not just an Android or iPhone device, but in fact any Bluetooth device whatsoever. In fact, you can pair with up to 8 Bluetooth devices at one time, with 2 of them being able to be connected simultaneously. This means that you can stream phone calls, music, and the radio or podcasts directly to both of your ears. Plus, there's even an app called the My Phonak app, which allows you to make manual adjustments to your settings on your hearing aids. Not only that, but if you can't make it to the clinic one day, your audiologist can dial into your hearing aids via your phone and make adjustments while you're sat in the comfort of your own home. Pretty clever, eh? So that pretty much covers all of the feature differences between the various styles of Phonak Lumity hearing aids. Yet what it doesn't cover are all of the features built into the different technology levels too. Each style is available in different technology levels too, which are represented by the number that you can see after the style of the hearing aid. So all Lumity hearing aids are available as either a 90, 70, 50 or 30, with the 90 being Phonak's premium technology, the 70 the advanced, the 50 is the standard technology level, and then the 30 is Phonak's essential technology level. So building on that, let's explain how these different technology levels affect your ability to hear. What every hearing aid manufacturer tends to do, and this isn't just limited to Phonak, is create the best possible hearing aids that they can with the technology and the research and development that's available at that particular moment in time. And then they'll brand this as their premium hearing aid, which in this instance is the Lumity 90. And then there are various technology levels beneath that with certain features stripped away. So let's cover which technology levels have which features. Starting with Autosense 5.0, this is Phonak's artificial intelligence machine learning feature that scans your environment 700 times per second and then calculates the most appropriate setting for your hearing aid to switch over to. With the premium technology level, the L90s will choose between the following different settings based on the environment that it detects that you're in. Once the hearing aids have recognized the environment, they'll then choose from over 200 different setting combinations in order to optimize your hearing in that situation. You can see here that as the technology levels decrease, the options that the Autosense setting is able to switch over to also decreases. So if you're looking for the most appropriate technology level for you, then you've got to think about not just your hearing test results, but also your lifestyle too. If you're somebody that interacts with other people in varied environments, then the premium technology level may well be the most appropriate for you and your hearing loss. Phonak's smart speech technology is their built-in system designed to optimize hearing speech in all listening situations, from quietly spoken people to those in a noisy environment. And the Lumity hearing aids have a few different impressive features that will make this work. Again, with the premium technology level, the L90s run all of these features, and I'll show you which are stripped away depending on the technology that you step down to. So the next two features are solely available in the L90 premium technology level. First, we have their clever built-in Speechsensor feature, which will enhance your hearing in background noise and is designed to improve your hearing of conversations from the right, left, or behind you. Phonak state that whilst the majority of conversations generally come from in front of us, around 20% comes from either the side or from behind. And one downside of older directional microphone technology is that it can focus so aggressively in front of you that it may miss somebody speaking to you from other angles. This new Speechsensor feature is designed to identify those conversations happening close by and then open up that beamformer to a more omnidirectional setting, allowing you to pick up that speech without necessarily needing to turn your head and face the person speaking to you. We all know that person in our lives that speaks incredibly softly. And even with normal hearing, it's not easy to catch what they're saying. The Speech Enhancer feature very simply looks out for those softly spoken people and gives them the boost that they need to bring them to within your audible range. So of those two features, both the Speechsensor and Speech Enhancer is only available in the L90 premium technology level. So the next two features are built into both the L90 premium technology level and the L70 advanced technology level, starting with Stereozoom 2.0. And this is Phonak's directional microphone technology. Stereozoom 2.0 is very simply designed to focus the microphones of your hearing aids forwards when you're in a noisy environment, such as a restaurant, for example. And this is all with the hope that you want to hear whatever you're looking at. Phonak are boasting that this should give you a better signal-to-noise ratio by up to 2.5 decibels, resulting in a 16% better speech understanding compared to fixed directional settings of previous versions of their Stereozoom. The most common complaint that I hear in clinic on a daily basis is people struggling to hear in background noise. With dynamic noise cancellation, you have the ability to set the strength of the noise reduction settings in real time based on your personal preferences, and this is all done using the My Phonak app, which means that you can set this feature to your preference of comfort or audibility in a particularly challenging and noisy environment. This is another of my favorite high-tech features in the Lumity family of hearing aids, and I personally think it's fantastic that Phonak have included the motion sensors in the premium, advanced, and the standard technology levels, respectively the L90s, 70s, and 50s. It allows Autosense 5.0 to calculate the direction that you most likely want to be hearing from. So in practice, if you're sat down at a table, you'd normally want to hear the sound in front of you. However, if you think about it, as soon as you stand up and you start walking away, you would want to be able to hear the person by your side. The motion sensors help the hearing aids to recognize this and adjust the directionality of the microphones accordingly. And this is all happening automatically without you needing to make any adjustments to the settings. Phonak have been great at recognizing where hearing aid technology alone will struggle to overcome certain hearing challenges. And as a result, they have a wide range of different accessories, from the TV connector to their Roger range, which includes the Roger-on version 2, Table Mic 2, Touchscreen Mic, their Roger Select, and Roger Neck Loop. If you're interested in more details on Phonak's accessories, I've got a specific video covering my top 5, which I would definitely recommend watching. And you'll be pleased to know that all of these accessories will work with all technology levels discussed today. If you're one of the 10% or 25 million people in the US that suffers with tinnitus, then you may also benefit from Phonak's Tinnitus Balance feature, which is also available across all technology levels. These are a selection of noises ranging from being tailored to your hearing loss, to white noise, and pink noise, which can be further adjusted to help you to overcome your tinnitus. So as you can see, there are a wide range of options to choose from when it comes to the Phonak Lumity family of hearing aids, with various advantages to different styles and different technology levels. I am keen to know which features most intrigue you, so let me know in the comments beneath this video. And then make sure you subscribe by pressing this circle just here, and I'll see you in the next video.